So guys, don't do any like keep me posted, let me know, that type of stuff. Like those two phrases, or keep me updated, like whatever. Why? Because it puts like an action into the buyer's responsibility, and the buyer just wants to be sold. They just want to, show up. They just want to get their product and go type of thing. So imagine you go to a plumber and they're like, hey, so what I need you to do now is go to the store and pick up this thing. You're giving responsibility onto the customer. You're giving responsibility onto the person who should just be swept off their feet, and the service should be delivered. Okay, so if you're a business and you're available, or if you're a guy dating girls and talking to girls and you're available, be like, hey, you can come by the store at this time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's do this at this time. Cool. And if they start giving like, oh, like my work and this and that, and it's like, all right, cool, well, maybe we can do another time, no big deal. None of this like, okay, well, I'm gonna still be here like ready for this date whether or not you're like feel like it or some shit, right? Because now, like, yeah, sure, you might get, a couple of those still might trickle through if you don't play hardball game and you don't play red pill game. But the only issue is like, is it worth it? Is it worth like slightly lowering your value, and maybe edging out a couple of those? Because I will give you a prediction that most of those will not come through. So now you just said you're available and then they still don't show up, or the date doesn't go anywhere, right? Maybe she shows up and she's just kind of like not really, you can't get anything out of that. You can't actually close the date anyways, because like just the interest wasn't fully there. You're getting someone actually showing up that like told you like maybe before, and then they like wander in through the doors. Like, that's not a hot lead, you know what I mean? That's not a lead that's going to close. So essentially all you're doing is, yes, if you roll with those punches and you wait for her to like reschedule things and like this and that, like, yes, you still might meet up with her, but is it worth it? Because she probably won't close, and you slightly lowered your value, and you're just, I'd rather walk away from the deal and have that girl in that moment be thinking, wow, that, I guess I missed my shot. And then maybe later, it'll heat up again. So that's probably the move there, is when a girl starts like giving you like tentativeness and contingencies of like, if I get out late off of work and this and that, like, yes, you might be able to still close it if, she ends up pulling through, but that percentage and that probability is quite low. So it's honestly better to just say, kind of better to play a little bit of hardball and be like, hey, like, well, no worries, we can always do it another time or something like that, and then just walk away from the deal, and maybe keep a thread going of some kind, so that if you are in the game of just absolutely result maxing, you don't necessarily like still try to pounce on that date plan that day, but you walk away with a strong frame, and then there's a thread still going, so now you've retained some of that value, and maybe things will be better next time. So that's probably the move there, guys. And again, don't put responsibilities in the girl's court, okay? Don't like make her think of where to go or what time you're doing, or keeping you posted or letting you know about this contingency. Now she has to be the planner and use her freaking brain, which girls can't do. So like, don't do it. You know what I mean? Just like, that's why they say set the plans, this and that. It's not about like necessarily you like controlling everything and like telling the girl what to do at all times. Is not that. It's actually more psychological. It's less effort for her, and so it's easier to say yes to, as opposed to like giving her responsibilities, right? Like if you were setting up plans with your buddy and he's like, okay, now I want you to go on the golf website and like look up the tee times that we can pick from. It's like, nah, bro, like just pick a tee time and like invite me along with the boys. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we got a tee time 8 p.m. Or 8 a.m. on Saturday. You down? Here, it's at this course. You down? I'm like, yeah. I'm not going to be like, or he's not going to be like, hey, which tee time would you want to do? Right? Like, dude, pick a normal good tee time. So similarly, if you're planning a date with a girl, this is going into the planning side now that we're not giving her the responsibilities and we're taking the responsibilities. What are the responsibilities? The responsibilities are picking a good plan, right? Something that's easy for people to say yes to. It's culturally acceptable. It's culturally normal, like we're not doing like a 7 p.m. tea time, right? We're doing like an 8 a.m. tea time, a 9 a.m. tea time, something chill that most people would say yes to. That's like pretty culturally normal and acceptable. So pick a cool spot in your area, pick a culturally acceptable activity in your area, and go from there, and just kind of like invite the girl along. And if she can come, then cool. And if she starts giving this maybe and this and that, like that is a clear sign of a middle interest indicator or a lower interest indicator. Otherwise, girls would be like, yeah, actually, let me check my schedule real quick. She texts you back 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes later. Actually, yeah, it works. I'm down. Let's do it. And then maybe you like text, keep texting, like just kind of slowly leading up to that. Nothing too crazy, but just stay in slight contact so that she doesn't feel like I haven't talked to this guy in 5 days. Like, are we still doing this or whatever? Keep a little bit of a thread going somehow, or maybe you can confirm in a cool way. Confirmation text, I would say, yeah, I would confirm in some way, but in a very cool way, not like, are we still good for, or can you still do it, or something like that. Maybe just be like, hey, I'm like pulling up there. I'll see you here. You can park in the lot. See you soon, or something like that. Something cool, where you're kind of confirming without confirming. Something like that. And keep a little bit of the thread going leading up to the date. Wow, this was kind of a masterclass video that I didn't intend for, so you're welcome.